Hey everybody, this is Tom Williams with The Lost Miner, and welcome to this episode. As you can see, I'm not out at the Dome this week. I'm here in Houston. And really in this video, I just want to talk through some things like the progress, things I'm working on with social media. And I'm going to go ahead and do kind of like a Q&A because there are some common questions that I get. And I also came up with some of my own questions as well, just things that you guys might be interested in. So first off, on the progress, so basically at this point I was supposed to be done, but that's fine. I mean, you set a goal and you try to meet it, but the A-frame is my third build, and I never meet the timeline that I established for finishing things. One thing is something always comes up. So we don't live there permanently. I live in Houston. This summer, our plan was to spend as much time as we could there, finish the A-frame. My son is my biggest support labor-wise and helping me get through this. He's in the Texas Army National Guard, and he's in an airborne infantry unit. They're just a very active unit. And he had a lot of time this summer that he thought he'd be able to spend building, that he was actually, at his unit doing things. Things came up, personally, with my family as well, that kind of, took me away from that project. But anyway, it will get done. Now things are gonna slow down a bit, so I'm gonna try to keep these videos coming out with some of the with the A-frame content. But the during the summer is the biggest when I can get the most progress done, because I'm actually able to stay in the dome. In the dome, I've got internet, I got a place to cook, shower, all of that, so it makes working so much easier now, so that our dome stays very booked up during the season. So now whenever I go out there, basically I'm staying in the A-frame, and I don't have the internet. So the guests have internet, I don't. So I am gonna buy, I guess, a Starlink. I've also thought about, if I went out there, I could just go to like Venga Cafe or maybe one of the other businesses in town and just use their internet. But really, the best thing, most efficient way would be if I had a second Starlink unit. So I'm gonna look at doing that. So that is one, but it is one thing that slows things down. So having all of the bookings in the dome, and then the A-frame being in the stage that it's at in construction. I've got a roof over my head, but it still needs a whole lot of work to be, a good space to be able to work on a computer, doing my corporate job. So that's part of it, is I need a place to be able to keep up with my corporate job as well. So very difficult in the A-frame at this point. Another thing is budget-wise. I mean, we've already invested a lot. A lot of what I had saved to invest in this is gone, but that's fine. It's all invested in the property. The property I know is going to do extremely well once we finally finish it. So basically, but just to be transparent on the budget, I don't have an unlimited budget. I don't have a huge budget. So at this point, I have to go saving, as we go every month, setting some aside to try to get this done. So the big expenses now on the A-frame, I'm gonna have to price it out. Actually, thinking about it now, I wish I would have for this video, but the insulation. So I'm gonna have to buy. It's a lot of insulation. The amount of square footage that we have on the walls is huge. It's probably 1,000 square foot of just in the walls. So I've got to get insulation for all that. Then have to buy all of the material that I'm gonna use for closing up the walls. I've got to decide exactly what I'm gonna use. I believe sanded plywood is what I'm gonna use. And then the flooring. I've got to do the flooring. So those are gonna be the big, and of course building out the kitchen and everything. But to me, the biggest chunks of material that I got to purchase is gonna be the insulation, the wall material, and then the flooring. It's all going to get done. So, you know, part of it, we put, you know, kind of a lot of stress on ourselves too, trying to get it done. And really this summer, because if we're able to finish, the peak travel season out there starts at the end of September, goes all the way through May. I mean, definitely hands down the busiest months are March and April. So, you know, you can make the A-frame could probably easily do $5,000 to $6,000 in revenue each month for March and April. So now I know that that's probably, we're not going to have it. I seriously doubt that we're going to have it done for in time. But anyway, it's kind of, you know, thinking about what's on the business side of it, missing out on the revenue, which is really needed to, you know, help push the project forward. But it will be done, and we're basically just now shifting the goal to being something more realistic, less stressful, make the process more enjoyable, and just saying, we're going to have the A-frame done by next season. Okay, so that way, if I have to use next summer to finish up, we can do that. And if it does come down to that, hopefully whenever we get to next summer, it's not going to be a huge amount of work, and I can focus more on doing some upgrades to the actual infrastructure. Okay, so another thing with the having to stay in the A-frame, so I had to stay 2 nights in the A-frame, and you can pick this up by, you know, some of you have caught this and, you know, pictures that I've posted on YouTube and mentioned it, I guess, and I think I mentioned it in a video maybe as well. But anyway, I've got bats now in the A-frame. So the first night that I stayed in there because of bookings, last time I was there, I heard scratching noise, and I figured it was just mice. I mean, you know, there's a lot of openings where, you know, rodents can come in. So didn't, you know, pay too much attention to it. But then I heard it the second night I had to stay in the A-frame. I was sleeping in the loft, and I heard the scratching noise up in the ceiling. It was pretty loud, and I was like, and it was kind of weird coming above me. It was right under the ridge cap of the roof, and the noise kept getting closer and closer to me, and all of a sudden I see a wing stick out. I'm like, dang. So I've got bats, and then it kept coming closer and closer to me, and then turned on my flashlight, looked overhead, and its head was literally, you know, sticking out. Just kind of like it was looking down at me. I know they're blind, but it was just its head, and it was kind of like looking straight down at me. And so basically I went out and just slept on I didn't want to have to worry about getting rabies or anything like that. So I went and slept on the deck, and next time I go out there, so that'll kind of give me an opportunity right now to talk about what I plan on doing in next trip, is the ridge cap that I installed on the roof. It wasn't bent to the correct angle by the manufacturer. So I've got a new ridge cap. So I'm gonna have to remove the old ridge cap, and then that'll expose anything that was, you know, if there was any bats living in that part of the roof. Put that back on, put the new ridge cap on, and then seal up. There's a couple areas at the apex of each end of the A-frame that's open at the top, kind of a small triangle space. So I need to close that up as well, and make sure nothing comes in once I get the bats out. Okay. Other things I'm thinking of how to grow the channel and even monetize it as well. One favor I want to ask you guys is anytime I come out with videos, if you could, please, at a minimum, hit the like button. And if you can comment, that would be excellent as well. That way the algorithm can pick up the video and share it to more people. Another thing is check out my Instagram. So the Lost Miner LLC, I post the most frequently on there. And if I post a picture, a video, anything, I just, you know, it would really go a long way. It would really help out in trying to grow this project that I'm doing. If you could like and comment, even, you know, just something, even if it's just something simple like awesome or whatever. But anyway, that would be helpful. One thing that's interesting is I started doing some AI content. So it's I use a program called HeyGen, and I created last time I was out of the property, I created an AI clone. So basically, if you look at it, you can go to my Instagram. I've even got it posted on my shorts as well, YouTube shorts. So the way it works on HeyGen is you just record a 3-minute video of yourself talking to the camera. So early one morning at the dome, I set up my camera. I had a fire going in the fire pit, recorded 3 minutes of myself talking to the camera, and then use that for HeyGen to create an AI avatar of myself, and then I just feed it whatever script I want it to read. So it was really interesting. And actually, I start off each video saying, this is Tom's AI avatar or AI clone, and make it talk with kind of some sarcastic humor. And it's gotten the most engagement of any of the content. Of course, I'd always like if people commented more. But it seemed to get more engagement than other content. So if you're interested in what I'm doing there with the AI clone Tom, check out the YouTube short videos that I've posted, and check out my Instagram. Okay, I want to go through some of the questions. Okay, the most common question that I get is, how do I manage the property? There's always questions about that, and then what about the bathrooms? So those are the two biggest questions that I get on social media, and I've gotten those two questions for quite a while. So if you're new to this, if you've been following me, likely you already know. It manages itself. I go out there at least once a month during the season to make sure I'm walking around the property, picking up any trash. If something needs a little extra cleaning, I'll do it. But basically, I don't charge a cleaning fee, and I am extremely transparent in the listing. Whenever somebody books, they understand that they're responsible for cleaning. I don't charge, and it's a really remote property. I literally cannot. I'm working on some ways and with others in the area to where I can have a cleaner, but I don't have one. And a big part of that is because it's a remote property. If you put yourself in the position of someone that's a cleaner doing that as their way of making a living, they go out to my property and it could take them 45 minutes to get out there, and then 45 minutes maybe to get to another property. The window for vacation rentals for changing out between guests is basically 10 in the morning till 3. So if somebody can only knock out 1 or 2 properties financially, it just doesn't make sense. So as I get more units on the property, financially I can incentivize somebody to clean. Another thing that we've thought of is talking to some other vacation rental owners in the area is pooling together and then sharing the cost of a full-time cleaner. So actually having somebody that's being paid full-time, and then everybody shares that cost. I really, really like that idea. But what I'm doing now works. I get nervous every time somebody checks out. I get nervous, but everybody understands. They get reminded after they book, and then while I'm communicating with them during their stay, and then they're reminded before they leave to clean up. I've got a list, and it's basic, being glamping. We don't have sheets. We don't have any kind of blankets, anything like that. So it's really just wipe all the surfaces, sweep, mop, take out all your trash. So that's how we manage it. Bathroom is, we've got shower bags that you fill up with water at our water storage tank. Use that to take a shower. We have a bucket that you fill up as well, and then it's got a faucet on it, and you just use that to wash dishes. Works really well. But what people really want to know is the toilet, and so we've got a porta potty that we use during the season. I use Big Ben Septic for that. I rent a porta potty from them, and then they service it definitely 2 times a month. When we have a lot of stays like this month, I'm actually going to hire them to do a 3rd service on the porta potty. just to make sure it doesn't build up too much during the month and being extra unpleasant for guests whenever it really builds up. So that's what I do. I'm going to do, as we go, like I said, start building up the infrastructure and have better ways of handling human waste. Okay, so what are your favorite finds? The fossils. I love that stuff. And so if you're interested in the things that we found on our property, I did a video not too long ago and showed some of the fossils that we found. That area's got such an interesting history over the last many millions of years. The fossil history is super interesting. Favorite memories. So the memory that I have that stands out the most in my head is on this second dome that we have. Before we went live last season, me and my son were out there during the summer working, and we've got a queen size mattress, and we were just getting out there basically for the summer to work. And it gets really windy out there, guys, sometimes. And there was this windstorm. And then so we had the queen size mattress, and we were trying to get it from the car to inside the dome. The wind was blowing so hard, and the queen size mattress was heavy as it was. The wind made it like a cell. And then we started laughing on top of that. We were laughing so hard because it was so hard to get just from the vehicle inside the dome because of the wind. We started dying laughing. And whenever you're when you're laughing so hard, it saps all your strength. So it made it even worse. But anyway, it was a really funny memory. So that's my favorite memory. Okay, what's the weirdest thing that's happened to me out in the Big Bend? During the builds? Hands down, the weirdest thing that's happened is on our first property, and it was in the middle of nowhere, guys. It was literally, this place was extremely remote. And so I had spent maybe a weekend out there, or maybe a week out there working, and then I was getting ready to go, and it was probably in November, and it was cold. And as I was making my way out, I was still a long way. I was at least a 30-minute drive on ranch roads before getting to the highway. From where this weird thing happened, I probably had 30 more minutes. But anyway, what happened was as I was driving, there was this lady walking with two little dogs in shorts. I can't remember what kind of shirt she had, but she wasn't wearing appropriate clothes for the situation. It may have been a short sleeve shirt, and then definitely shorts she was wearing, and then sandals. It had to have been in the guys. I know it was in the 30s. It was freezing, and she was in the middle of nowhere walking. So I'm like, what? You don't expect to see somebody in this situation out there. So of course I stopped and I was like, I had no idea what to expect. What was going on in the situation. She was extremely excited to see me because people just don't pass through there very, very much. And what happened is the night before, she had heard about South County Road. Our place was way up South County Road, and then you go off on some other roads. So she decided that she was going to go check out South County Road because she heard the Solitario area was really pretty. Well, she also decided to smoke weed before she, I guess while she was driving up South County Road, so she got lost. So she was driving way up South County Road, north of where our dome is too, and high and completely lost. And her car, I guess, eventually ran out of gas, and so she had to spend the night out there alone with her two dogs, freezing. And then once the sun came up, she decided to try to walk and work her way back, which would have taken her forever. In a car, if it takes 45 minutes, it would have taken her probably, 5 hours, or who knows. Anyway, that was the weirdest thing. So lady got high, got lost out in the middle of nowhere, stranded, and so I took her back. I dropped her off at where she was staying in Terlingua. Okay. The most difficult jobs. So doing on the A-frame, I think the most difficult, what stands out my mind was over the summer doing the foundation, framing, and roofing for the A-frame. That was a huge job. We didn't have a driveway going up there. We ended up making one with my son's truck just from driving back and forth. And now we do. We've had a tractor go through and make a driveway. But we were carrying. We used 6,000 pounds of concrete for the concrete piers, and all of that we had to carry up from the main road up to our property, and then pouring the piers, building the triangle, the frames, and then doing the roofing. Huge job. Also digging the post holes on the first dome, because our property was basically all limestone, and so we had to use a demolition hammer to dig all the holes. It was crazy. Wildlife encounters. So I had a few. The one that okay, so probably the one that stands out the most in my mind is on the first dome. The summer that I finished it, I was staying out there for a month, and then I was out there working. I was standing on the side of the dome, and I heard something fly across my head. It sounded like a bottle rocket, and scared me half to death. And then I look over, something catches my eye, and it was a falcon. So it was diving so fast that it sounded like a bottle rocket. Never had anything like that happen in my life. That was pretty cool. All right. I've got some more questions here, but I'll answer. This video I know is getting a little bit long, so I'll answer those on a future video. I think I commented starting out as thinking of ways to monetize. So, it's at some point I'm thinking I'm going to start a newsletter, help try drive traffic to my website, newsletter, doing kind of affiliate type things to get some additional revenue. One thing that's interesting to me is Pacific Domes is where I bought the first 2 domes, and I'm pretty sure they have an affiliate program. I love their product. It is awesome. It works. It's good quality. Company is good to work with. I have no problem doing affiliate marketing for their product. I would love to do that. So I'm going to talk to them about doing some kind of affiliate program. That way, whenever I'm putting out these videos, I can do kind of a little commercial break and then talk about Pacific Domes, try to get some affiliate commission from that. And of course, if I build a newsletter, talking about off-grid building in a Big Bend, telling stories, things like that, I can also include some links, affiliate links, like for Pacific Domes. Also, maybe if I can do some Amazon affiliate type links for my favorite tools that I've used during my builds. If you guys have any ideas of anything that I should look into to help try to monetize this channel as it grows, I think now is really the time I need to start thinking through that. I think a lot of successful creators may even would recommend that I don't worry about it, just do the first 100 videos and then worry about it. But I am thinking about that kind of in the back of my head of things I can do to try to monetize the channel. One thing is consulting as well. Actually have had, one person that follows, we did probably an hour-long call, and he ended up finding a really good property out there in the Big Bend. I didn't charge anything. It was a lot of fun, and somebody else has reached out to me wanting to do asking me if I'd do consulting as well. And I just, I told this person that, hey, I'll gladly take any tips, but no charge unless basically you can give me a tip for however much value you feel that the consulting session gave you. But if I see if more people are gonna, as the channel grows, are looking for that kind of service, I can come up with some kind of rate, like an hourly rate for that. But anyway, I'd like to hear your any comments that you guys have on that, or any ideas I might want to consider. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the video here. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.